PK in the universe, here to talk about 10 Wii U games that are never coming to the Switch. One thing that's really common I hear on social media from people, oftentimes people who have never owned a Wii U, is that they believe that 100% of all the Wii U games are going to be ported to the Switch. So there's no point in buying a Wii U. And a lot of those people definitely have never owned a Wii U because they would understand that there's a lot of games out there that revolve around the Wii U gamepad, and literally you would have to completely redesign to even have them playable. Or they don't understand that a relationship maybe between Nintendo and a third party is not what it was, years ago. Or just, simply there's no interest from the fan base for a specific game. Also the fact that there's sequels to certain Wii U games. So it would make no sense to put those games. And not only that, some of these games have already been ported to the 3DS. So it's not like Nintendo didn't make their money. So I want to go over some of those games. I'm going to go over 10 games that are never going to be ported to the Switch. So here we go. First off, let's start with some third-party games. Mass Effect 3. I bet some of you guys are thinking, that's totally going to get ported. I think the Mass Effect trilogy will absolutely be ported to the Switch. That would make a lot of sense. But the idea of Mass Effect 3 by itself getting ported to the Switch doesn't make any sense, and everybody listening to this probably would agree with that. And next, we got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. This game is actually a lot of fun to play with the Wii U gamepad. And a lot of people have said, who've played this version versus other versions of the game, have said they feel this is the superior version of the game. At the time of this recording, we've never gotten any of the Call of Duty games on the Switch. So the idea that we would all of a sudden get Call of Duty Black Ops 2, I just think is really unlikely. Just based on the fact that we've never gotten a Call of Duty game on the Switch at the time of this recording. Up next, we got sequels. These two games both have sequels on the Switch, so the odds that they would be put on the Switch are highly unlikely. Splatoon. I recently just did an entire video about Splatoon on the Wii U and why you should buy it, so definitely go check out that video if you want to know more about what I think of the first Splatoon on Wii U. Up next, we got probably my favorite game on the Wii U, and it's the game that came bundled with my Wii U, and that is Super Mario Maker. I love this game. It is so unique even compared to the sequel. The sequel's fine, but I actually prefer this, to be truthfully honest. I love using the Wii U gamepad, and I love that I don't have to go dock my Wii U gamepad if I want to play on the TV. There's a lot of advantageous things about that. There's still people making levels, actually, and still playing the original Super Mario Maker, and the online's free, so that's awesome. Oh, and not only that, there's amiibo support. There's 150 costumes you can still unlock on Super Mario Maker on Wii U, as far as the Super Mario Brothers 1, the Mystery Mushroom. And you can use either amiibos, or you can unlock them playing the 100 Mario levels or whatever. It's a very unique game. It was technically ported to the 3DS. It's a gimped weak port of it, and it's not really quite the same game, but it's there. So that makes me think there's no way that's getting ported to the Switch. Speaking of games that were both on the Wii U and the 3DS, Super Smash Bros. Wii U will not be getting ported to the Switch for obvious reasons. The fact that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is on the Switch, why would this be ported, wouldn't even make any sense. This is probably my second favorite game on the Wii U, and that's Yoshi's Woolly World. Yoshi's Woolly World was also on the 3DS as Yoshi's Woolly World Poochy, whatever. Nintendo has clearly invested a lot in Yoshi's Crafted World. That's their game on the Switch. I can't imagine that they would port Woolly World just to step on the toes of Crafted World, which hasn't really done as good as probably expected. In fact, Woolly World did really well on the Wii U, all things considered. Personally, I played the demo of Crafted World, and I was not in love with it the way I was Woolly World. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, of course. And NES Remix Volume 1 and 2. I don't see there was an ultimate remix or whatever, but it just contains what Nintendo thinks are the best ones. This has them all. I actually think it's more likely Nintendo would go with the Super NES remix, you know, make a sequel. I think that would make a lot more sense than just trying to port this. Not only that, Nintendo has their Nintendo and Super NES and Super NES online, so I feel like in a way that something like this would almost compete with that. You know, they've kind of already done a little bit of that with their, you know, like they did a Legend of Zelda specials, Zelda 2 special. They did like specials of different games. I feel like the Nintendo Online is the replacement for this in a lot of ways. So unfortunately, I forgot to mention this game when I was doing the actual recording, and I realized it after I'd filmed everything, so I was like, oh, I better add this one. So up next is NintendLand. What can I say about NintendLand? The game is basically a tech demo for the Wii U, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense if they ported that because so much of that game revolves around using the gamepad. I would find it more likely that they would release some of the games that are in it individually and completely rework them separately, because this would not be a simple, easy port by any stretch of the imagination. So I believe NintendoLand is a game that's not coming to the Switch. And up next, I'm going to show you both games because there's a reason for that, and that's Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. Hear me out, guys. One of the things that made the Wii U so great was that gamepad, honestly. What I loved about Twilight Princess HD is you could look at the screen, same with Wind Waker HD, look at the screen and then with your inventory, and then you could look at the TV as you're playing, and you wouldn't have to, you know, that was such a great feature. It was so convenient. In fact, it was supposed to be in Breath of the Wild on Wii U, but they cut that feature because they didn't want the Wii U to have a feature that the Switch didn't have. So that makes me think it's really unlikely that these two games will get ported. Now, does that mean I think Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are never coming to the Switch? No, I actually think they are coming to the Switch. Here's what I believe is going to happen. I think they're going to get the GameCube versions of these games, put them on one cartridge, and HD them up a little bit, you know, upscale them like they did with Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and they'll port it to the Switch like that. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that just makes way more sense than trying to get the HD versions of these and cutting a whole feature out. And, you know, I think that would make more sense, actually, to do that. So that's my crazy hot take theory about what I think would how the Zelda games would get to the Switch. Is I don't actually think they would port the HD versions, but that's just what I think. Anyways, those are 10 Wii U games I think are never coming to the Switch. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think I'm just a crazy person and I don't know what I'm talking about? Are you from the future, and is this list now out of date? Comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks. Bye.